Hi guys, I hope you are all doing very well. This is an exciting video for me today because it is my first video back since I had my son. I just love these videos. Labor and delivery story videos are one of the videos that I just truly enjoyed watching before I had my son, and I found myself every single night I was watching like what's in my hospital bag, what's in my diaper bag, labor and delivery stories, and there's several YouTubers that I watched their labor and delivery stories like 3 or 4 times, and I just enjoyed them so much. So this is one of the ones that I knew that I wanted to film after I had my son, just to kind of share my experience, because I know just especially if you're pregnant or you're planning on having children, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's nice hearing other people's experiences because not everyone's is the same. I'm gonna go ahead and do that for you guys today. He is 4 weeks today. Today is Monday, I believe the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, mommy brain. So he was born the 1st of December at 2:28 p.m. He was 6 pounds 9 ounces, 19 1/4 inches. He was a pretty small baby. I was pretty low on hydration and pretty low on like my fatty foods and stuff like that, so I don't think he was really growing as much as he needed to. So I started intaking lots of avocados and nuts and all of these things, and he went from like a 15th percentile up to like over a 30th percentile for weight. So definitely keep that in mind when you are pregnant. It's definitely important to eat fatty foods, which is what I really wasn't doing. And for me, like, my appetite didn't really change you know, after I got pregnant. It's kind of like I ate the same amount. I pretty much ate the same things. So I only gained a little over 20 pounds, which I know for some women is like, how did you do that? Because most women usually will gain more than that. And I'm pretty sure within a couple weeks I was back to my pre-baby weight, which is nice. I already knew he was going to be a small baby because of that. So I wasn't shocked at all when he came out 6'9", but even still, you know, he was perfectly healthy. He was just a little smaller, but there was no like health complications or anything like that. But I'll go ahead and start out on the day that my water broke. This was December 1st at like 4 a.m., almost 5 a.m. I believe. I had only gotten an hour of sleep. I remember waking up and I turned just to kind of change positions in bed, and I start feeling like this liquid kind of leaking. And I was just kind of like, this feels a little weird. So, and in my mind I was thinking like, I don't know if it was like TMI, but I don't know if it was like any drainage or anything like that. I didn't really know, because I know when your water breaks, most of the time it's kind of like a gush of water, and some people it's kind of like a slow trickling, and that's, in my case, that's what it was. So, which was actually probably maybe better in my case, because I know normally when your water breaks, that's when your contractions are a lot stronger. And for me, like I have 2 sisters, so out of all 3 of us, my mom's water didn't break with me, and she said she had the least pain with me, because once your water breaks, you feel everything and it's just a lot more painful. So it was actually kind of nice that mine was like slowly trickling. So I actually wore like a menstrual pad, and it just slowly kind of came out over, you know, up until the time I went to the hospital at like 8 in the morning. I came downstairs, I just sat on the couch and I watched some TV with my parents, and we started timing my contractions. And at this point, they weren't very strong. I mean, this is like between 5 and 6 in the morning. I woke them up and they weren't really strong at this point. I could feel them, but they weren't anything that I couldn't like breathe through or anything like that. So I'm just kind of hanging around the house, you know, we're starting to time them. I think I had a piece of toast and, you know, some cheese, I don't know, just something light and appetizing. And then we just kept timing them, and over about maybe an hour to a couple hours maybe, they started getting closer to like 5 minutes apart, and they were getting a little bit stronger. I already had my hospital, like his diaper bag ready, like my hospital bag ready and all that stuff. So we had that ready to go. It was just kind of like, you know, I was still just like mentally preparing myself for what was about to happen. So at about 8 o'clock, around there, we left for the hospital. I felt a few in the car and they hurt pretty bad, but they weren't, like I said, they weren't anything like I couldn't breathe through. They were painful, but it wasn't like intense. And I do want to mention as well is I had some back labor, so I actually felt the majority of my pain in my back, like my lower back, as opposed to my abdomen area, which they say is usually a lot more painful than normal contractions for women who have like a normal labor. Once we got to the hospital, I checked in, I got into my room. They checked me and I think I was between 3 and 4 centimeters dilated, which was nice that I was already this far along, and that's something that the nurse mentioned to me. She was like, wow, you're already pretty far along, because I had already been like 2 centimeters dilated for like at least a couple weeks, I think. And I know some women go in and they're not even dilated at all, and I'm like, oh, I can't even imagine. At this point, my contractions were getting pretty strong. Like I said, it was back labor, so I felt it majority in my back, and oh, just, oh man, it hurt. And I kind of went in with an open mind. You know, if I wanted to get the epidural or not, I was just kind of like, let me kind of see how my pain is. And I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but it was pretty painful. So I was just like, you know what? I have no idea how long this is going to take. I'm just going to go ahead and get the epidural just so I can kind of relax and enjoy this experience without being like in pain. And it's honestly, it's everybody's own opinion. My mom had 3 of us natural. That's what she wanted to do. It's anybody's own opinion and their own personal choice. So I personally wanted to get the epidural. When he first came in and gave it to me, it wasn't painful at all. And I've heard experiences from other people on YouTube that said it wasn't painful at all for them. It really wasn't painful at all for me. Like, really, if you just breathe through it, I felt like nothing. Like, it felt like maybe a little prick, but it wasn't anything. Like, it honestly, to me, didn't even feel like a normal shot. Like, it was really not painful. He must have just done a really good job, but I didn't really feel anything. And he talked me through the whole thing, so I felt super comfortable. I went ahead and got my epidural around, I think it was between like 10 and 10:30. At first, it was really, really strong. And that's something that the nurse had mentioned to me. When you first get the epidural, that first dosage of medicine is pretty strong. So I wasn't even tired. I was pretty alert, and I couldn't even keep my eyes open. Like, I was literally laying in the bed and I was just like, it was so strong, and I couldn't feel my legs, and I was just like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know if I'm really liking this. I'm like, whoa, this is a little much. And I was trying to watch because I'm like a huge Food Network junkie, and Pioneer Woman is like, I just love her. But like I said, I was so like drugged up, like I couldn't even watch the show. I was like, ah. I mentioned to the nurse, I was like, when he's able, can he come back in here and turn this down a little bit, because they can turn it down for you. He turned it down and I felt so much better. I felt more like alert. I felt like I could kind of move around. I didn't feel like that weird, like I couldn't even like, you know, keep my eyes open kind of thing. But I could feel the contractions a little bit. I mean, it definitely took the edge off, but I could feel them, when before I couldn't feel them at all when they were coming. So, so I got the epidural around between 10 and 10:30. So I think at about, it was kind of just like the waiting game at this point, you know. I was just, it still progressed pretty quickly. I mean, they kept kind of checking me every, you know, 30 minutes to an hour, whatever. I chewed on ice because they don't allow you to eat or anything like that. So, and what's nice is because sometimes when you're in labor, you feel really hot. So chewing on ice was really nice because it kind of kept me from, you know, having like dry mouth, and like it just kept me feeling hydrated. I just chewed on ice and watched TV pretty much, and I hung out with my family and my husband and everyone that was there. So between like 1:30 and 2, like my nurse came in, and then my OBGYN came in, and they both checked me, and at this point I was pretty much ready to go. I was 10 centimeters dilated. So I went ahead and did some practice pushes with my nurse. I pushed like, because you push every contraction, so I pushed with my nurse maybe 3 or 4 times, and like you could see his head. Like my husband was like, yeah, I can see, like you can see the top of his head or whatever, and I was like, ah! So I pushed a few more times with her. I think I pushed a total of like not even an hour, like 45 minutes. It was amazing. So my doctor came in, and I think I pushed twice with him, maybe 3 times max, and then the baby was here. I did get an episiotomy, which I really don't regret getting either, because I mean, I could have tore, so I mean, it just kind of depends, but that's what my doctor wanted me to have done. So at that point, I was just like, you know, do what you feel like you need to do. And it was a 2nd degree, I guess, tear or cut, since I didn't technically tear, but the cut was like a 2nd degree or whatever. So I did have some stitches, but 3 pushes, and I think 2 or 3, and he was out. And oh my goodness, you guys, it is the most incredible feeling. Like, just the instant he came out, like, he started crying, and like, which is a good thing. I mean, you want them to be making noise and to be crying or whatever. So I just bursted into tears. Like, I just started crying, and I looked at my sister. My sister was crying, which made me cry more, and just everyone was crying. It was so emotional, and it was just so amazing. And just to know that, oh my God, this whole like journey, 9-month journey that you've just gone through is finally over, and like, you have your baby. It is just the most like unreal feeling, and it was just amazing. He was finally here, and he immediately put him on my chest, and they kind of wrapped a blanket around him, and he was just so cute, and it was amazing, you guys. What was really a blessing for me too is I was able to pretty much breastfeed right away too. And ever since then, I mean, he's 4 weeks now. He latches right on. You know, it's just been amazing. So, and after that, I just stayed 1 night in the hospital. I probably could have stayed at least another night, like 2 nights, but I just wanted to stay 1 night because I just wanted to come back home. And also my uncle was in town, and I just felt like, you know what, I just want to go home and relax with my family and everything like that. So that's what I ended up doing. I just stayed 1 night, and then we left like that next evening. So I stayed at the hospital the next day, and I had some friends visit and brought some gifts and everything, which was really, really nice. So that's pretty much it. That's my labor and delivery story. That is my whole experience. I did not like write down like tons of notes or anything like that. I just am gonna try to tell you guys the best I can from my memory. So he's actually sleeping right now, but I was going to bring him on here just so you guys could, you know, see him for just a minute. My sister is kind of keeping an eye on him right now, and he's resting. So I will go get him and then show you guys. Okay guys, he was waking up when I went in there. So this is Cameron. And this is my little boy. Can you say hi? Say hello. Hello. So he is 4 weeks today. He was a little jaundiced, but I know that's pretty common for babies. So we did have a little bit of that when he was first born, but other than that, like, he's really healthy. He's doing really good. I think he just woke up, so he's a little like, wah. I'll try to see if I can get him to wake up a little bit. Hey. Hey, mister. This is my sugar. My sugar plum. Are you gonna say hi? Say hi. Oh, oh, oh. Okay. You see? Oh, you got the yawns. Anyways, okay, you're like, all right, lady, getting a little crazy here. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you found it maybe somewhat helpful if you're pregnant, or maybe this video just helped you or encouraged you, or just, you know, you enjoyed it at least if you're not pregnant. I will definitely be back to making videos. I just have a lot kind of going on right now, and especially with having a new baby, like, I'm sure if you're a new mom, you understand. So, but yeah. I will definitely be back to making videos. Leave me any requests that you guys have, or any questions or anything like that, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Bye. You want to say bye-bye? Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.